Good evening, travelers and adventurers. Fucking Loburn's here again.
Oh,
You
yes.
can't get rid of him, no matter how hard we try.
You knew that Lobrin was
Nice.
going to come if he could.
Nobody said hello, Bryn, this episode.
Hello.
Hello,
Bren.
Gerta. Also, thank you for the 3-stream watch streaks, CC.
We love it.
And Gerta has been subbed for 9 months.
If you say hello,
I'm
Lobrin,
just-
3 times in the mirror, you grow a mustache like Lobrin's.
No.
Gotta do that.
I'm just imagining Lobrin showing up on the deck of our ship and be like, "Wait, what? I'm free! I'm free! I have to go back and save them!"
He wouldn't
then
come back for us, are
he
you
just-
fucking kidding me?
He wouldn't come back for us. He would come back for his retainers, though.
Maybe.
True.
I would say,
Maybe.
yeah.
And then as soon as you switch over to Elvira, it's just, "Wait, no, don't send me back!"
They don't have a lot of dentists. He can't get another retainer somewhere.
Sorry about that. I was not feeling like myself for a moment there.
Oh, that's the Alvaro we know.
Yes, the Alvaro you know. But what about the Alvaro you don't know?
There's a lot of the
That one
Alvaro
is
we don't
very
know.
clearly.
Yeah, it's true. Oh well.
Better the Elvira you know.
So as a little bit of small talk before we get into the session, I had the idea of why don't you guys
Oh my god!
Whoa.
why don't you guys down the line talk about talk about what feat you chose from the dragon and explain how the dragon's empowerment gave that to you.
Okay, that's gonna be. You know what? That's gonna be fun.
Question.
Start with me, I guess, huh?
Down the
Yeah.
line.
You said it would be fun.
It actually makes some sense. I get like it's a bit of a reach. I took Magic Initiate, so I could get a couple cantrips and a spell.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And you might ask, how did that happen? Well, Audrin stabbed he slide tackled underneath the dragon and stabbed it in its chest, and it gave it touching his heart, and it gave him his dragon-like powers, and now he can cast spells with all of the vigor of a still alive dragon. No,
What?
definitely not.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I'm very sleep deprived.
Okay,
Wait a
Audrin.
Who are you?
Thanks, Audrin. Very cool.
Yeah, I really tried hard here.
Alvaro, what did you
Shows,
take?
shows. I took a little bit of a different power. Actually, it was my first. This is kind of embarrassing.
Thank you for the
I haven't been using Hex a lot this campaign, and I did against this dragon. So for me, I was like, you know what? Hex helped me fight that dragon, so I'm gonna use it. And I took Maddening Hex. I actually took Maddening Hex off of the feat Eldritch Invocation, which allows me to learn another Eldritch Invocations, and then I took Maddening Hex. And for anyone who's curious as to what that does, let me share this knowledge with you. Alright. It's a Hex level spell, which basically allows me to, as a bonus action to any target cursed by my Hex spell, they can take psychic damage equal to my charisma modifier as a bonus action. So that would be 5 damage as a bonus action just for free.
Very cool.
You have to explain how the dragon gave you that power.
How
I
did the
told you I
absorbing
well,
the dragon's soul?
I think it was more so part of the power that I used to defeat the dragon, which was Hex. I did cast Hex on it, which I hadn't really used as much up until this point, if at all.
I don't think you used it at all.
Shut up.
Listen,
This is the longest campaign I've ever played, okay?
It's a learning experience.
We used Hex more often, hopefully now. And, well, I also did use my bonus action a lot for escapability, in fairness, like with my Misty Step and stuff, too. I'd like to have that ability.
It's true.
So,
What's it called? Face step?
Face Step, yeah. And I have, like, a Misty Escape, I think it's called. Yeah.
Alvara, I'm tasking you with writing a nursery rhyme about Hex. Aurora.
Yeah. I want to hear that one.
Aurora chose Gift of the Chromatic Dragon,
Very
which
fitting.
means as a bonus action, she can touch a weapon and infuse it with a damage type, like, acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, the whole shebang. And for the next minute, that weapon deals an extra 1d4 of the chosen damage. So I thought that was pretty cool. And also, it's got reactive resistance, so if I take a certain type of damage, you can use my reaction to give myself. I can use my reaction to give myself resistance to that damage. I can use this a number of times equal to my proficiency bonus, which is 3 right now, so that's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Very fitting, given that you fought a chromatic dragon.
Yeah, I
Makes
thought
sense.
so.
Alright, Humi.
Well, as you all know, Umi did a lot during that fight, but not anything in the way of damage. I was able to slow the beast, and I was able to put some vigor into our crew, we'll say. So, what I did was, I went with Meta Magic Adept, and I went with Subtle Spell and Quicken Spell. I slowed the dragon so it thought I was moving twice as fast. And I was very subtle because I'm not even sure I actually did any damage to it. I think I did a little bit of damage, not too
Quicken
much.
spell is good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And how did the dragon's power give that to you?
They had no fucking idea who I was, and they were like, "Oh, subtle, okay." And
Okay.
yeah.
Makes sense. Mina, what did you take and how?
I also took Metamagic Adept. Specifically, I went with sorry, give me one second. I went with Extended Spell, which allows me to take a spell with a 1 minute duration or longer and double it. And I also took Distant Spell, which allows me to double the range of a spell.
That's pretty good. And how did how did the dragon's, soul give you this?
He had magic soul.
This is
He
true.
did. Well, you see, Dragon Sight allows you to see better at long distances, or at least dragons are able to see better at long distances. So the distant spell makes sense, and then they live for a long time. So extended spell.
This is true. Alright. Numbers. What did you take and how?
I took skill expert, and basically when I absorbed the soul of the dragon, I absorbed some of its skill, including its fantastic eyesight, because I chose perception to give myself a +9 in perception, which ultimately gives me a 24 in passive perception. So keep that in mind.
You guys and your fucking passive perceptions of 20 plus. Oh my god.
I cannot wait to take observant at the next feat section, and then I should have a perception up around 28. or
I
30.
know.
Christ.
In the latest Critical Role campaign, there's somebody who took like a bunch of those feats, and their passive perception, I think, are level 13, but it's been this way since like level 12. Is a 31.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah!
it's
It's
just
fucking
like
insane. Like they
DM
see
can't-
everything.
can't throw anything at you.
No,
I
they
kind
can
of
read lips. Like they can do everything. Like they took all of the feats necessary to have the highest passive
They know.
perception.
Wow.
I really want to take a character and give them an absurdly high passive perception, but then make them equally paranoid about everything.
Because they can see more, like Insight and Bloodborne.
Yeah, basically. Or maybe, their perception is so high as a result of being constantly in fight or flight mode.
This is
Also,
true.
Just as a reminder, on the GM table for DC saving throw, like, or the difficulty check for throws, a 31 is considered nearly impossible. So if you have a passive
Passive
perception
31.
exceeding 30, you are basically doing the nearly impossible passively in terms of what you perceive.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. Like, he just knows everything. Like, the DM doesn't even ask. Like, the DM just goes like, so with your insane passive perception, you see. He just sees everything.
Well, I know we've got quite the recap to go over.
Do we
So
wanna do
before,
inspo?
before I do, let's get into the inspiration. So you guys, the players, voted last session on who you thought got a point of inspiration, and y'all gave it to Audrin.
Alduin.
Yes.
Good
Thank
job,
you.
Audrin. And then y'all, the community, voted over in our Discord server, where you guys get a say on who gets the next point to use this session, and it was given to Gruta.
Yeah. Woo.
Good job, Gruta.
Great job.
Gruta
But then
was
after that, it's
involved.
given to Alvara.
Yeah.
Congrats, Alvara.
Woo.
Gruta did roll a number for us. He rolled a 3.
Oh yeah, it was a 3. So congrats, Alvara. You got an inspiration point.
That
was
scared the
fun.
shit out of me. I was like, when
I
did
know,
Ash
that
join
always
the
gets
chat?
me.
So how about that recap? There's a lot to get into this
Yeah,
session, and
but-
a lot that y'all did last session.
A heavy one again. We need a shopping session again just to shorten these recaps. All right,
Purely for the recaps.
really for the recap. The
Or we could do
recap,
more.
as Audrin puts it. I'll never forget. I'll never forget your Freudian slip, Audrin.
It was me.
Oh, that was you. I'll
Derek,
never forget
drop a
the
beat.
Mandela effect Freudian.
That Mandela effect Freudian slip. You just assumed it was Derek.
Sounds like something he would do.
Come on, so go on, Zach.
All right. Second bout of the fight began. Some fierce might and mind sliver. Mind sliver. No.
Sliver.
Sliver.
Yeah.
Sliver. Stab the dragon in the liver. That's what they do because they were so clever.
Oh my god.
Get on.
Liver.
Hard.
We stabbed him in the liver. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
drag
The
him.
mixtape will be available on Etsy never. So thank you. But
remix.
Alright, so now here's the actual recap. Yeah, the second part of the fight began with Umbria beginning with Mind Sliver, followed by a raging Aurora and Yetta, as the dragon swiped across the deck with its tail. Subsequently, Audrin flanked the dragon, dealing a massive amount of damage with his saber. As Umbria went to move away again, Audrin dealt more damage upon its attempt to exit, prompting Humi to cast Slow as it flew off. With help from debuffs from Avara and Mina, Umbria failed and remained slowed as numbers cast Call Lightning, whereupon the creature was struck and directed downward toward the cannons. I know, we were all like, the cannons, the
We
cannons.
never get to use that.
While things seemed to be going well for the party, Umbria resisted the slow, turned and insulted the party before spewing another acid breath, killing Adeline and grievously wounding several others. As Umbria began to retreat, Avara sprinted to the side of the deck, casting Eldritch Blast and smiting Umbria down into the ocean, dead. As the dragon fell, Mina and Humi rushed to heal Adeline, casting Revivify and bringing her back to life, although she was permanently scarred from the acid damage. An energy then rose where Umbria was slayed, granting the party with a new feeling of power, 2 boons, the Echo of Dragon Sight and a feat of each party member's choice, which we did explain. The party then began harvesting the dragon's corpse after assistance from numbers and removing it from the ocean, while the rest of the party began repairing the ship.
I love how determined Numbers was to get every possible thing he could from that fucking dragon. He's like, but what if
Yeah.
I took one more hour? And it
Aurora-
worked out in the end.
Aurora then pulled Alvara aside to apologize for her reaction previously, stating she felt it got the better of her, to which Alvara replied that they all had their own demons, but it was better to deal with them together. Alvara then approached Audrin, briefly sharing a conversation about their victory over this mighty foe. Audrin then took to steering the ship upon Mina's request after the latter identified a landing spot on a lost grotto. They then enter the dragon's lair, discovering abandoned architecture and what appeared to be an old temple as they stealth forward with their eyes peeled. Jethreath then came before a wooden hull, appearing to be her prior ship, Stormhull. Prior ship that she served on, of course. As Audrin approached her and comforted her about her captain, stating he would be proud, while she replied that she wished she enacted her revenge sooner. Humi then gazed into the beyond, detecting a dark energy emanating from a whirlpool in the cavern, which numbers then dispersed using control water and passing an arcana check to fight the whirlpool. At the bottom of this rocky chasm, he saw a very faint glow of the ocean floor. As he glided down with an enlarged Mina carrying him, he noticed a large ornate silver trident with an ocean blue ribbon that was lodged within the rocks with a symbol of Umberlee on it. Freeing it, he felt a strange sense of comfort before returning to the surface. The rest of the party then opened up 3 chests above the surface, being lockpicked by Audrin and Humi, revealing an incredibly valuable amount of gemstones, platinum pieces, gold, and magical items of various kinds. Jethreath then relaxed under the remaining wooden pirate ship, beckoning Audrin and handing him her coat before she said she was parting from the party, urging them to leave her there as she was finally at peace following Umbria's death. He left her coat with Audrin and as he attempted to unite her with her former captain, Aldrich Ulumorn's sword. She declined, stating it was of better use to him on the seas with more adventuring to be done. As the rest of the party bid their farewells to Jethreath, who began singing a shanty in the Double Down's honor, they gathered up the remaining loot and noticed a set of silver armor with the engraving of number 109. And that was where we left off.
That shit was fucking crazy.
Woo! Alright, so when we last left our heroes, Numbers, you had discovered a very abandoned yet familiar set of plate.
Yeah. What is it just like my plate or is it different in any way?
It looks incredibly similar, maybe a little more, you know, it's been here for a while, so it's a bit dinged up, maybe just a little more crude in make, but it's nearly identical.
Hold up, party. I think I need to check this out. I say as I mosey over.
What is it,
uh,
Numbers?
Something disturbing. And I kneel down next to... Is it a skeleton or is there skin still on this thing?
There's no body, though there are a few traces of bones that have been brittled and decayed, scattered around here and there.
I see. Are there any weapons or equipment such that I have like a mason shield?
You don't see any equipment other than just an abandoned breastplate and the single pauldron.
The engraving, you said there was a number. That's on the pauldron?
It's on the pauldron. Number 109.
Yeah. And there's nothing on the plate?
No, the plate seems very, just typical metal plate. Very scratched up and decayed. It's got definitely some dirt and dust that's been beginning to pile onto this thing over time, but...
So, I turn to the party and I say, party, but before we leave this cave, do you mind if I, do we all, by the way, do we all in character know we can connect to Umbreer using, Echo of Dragon Sight? Like, do we innately understand that? Or...
As Umbreer passed away in the middle of the ocean, you felt as you gained this newfound power within yourselves, giving you this new feat that you got, you also felt within you a newfound power of being able to contact his spirit from beyond.
Yeah, his soul like entered us, so we all understand that. So I'm gonna say, party, would anyone mind if I did that and asked them some questions about this cave?
Do what you gotta do, lad, but be careful. Can't be trusting that one, that's for sure.
It
He
might
may
be
not
good.
like us.
Mina?
I had said it might be a good idea.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm going to sit down next to the little plate that's missing a body inside it and meditate until I connect with Umbreer.
So you're casting the spell Contact Other Plane.
I suppose so. Does that like I get like 1 charge per day of that for contacting Umbria or something? Hold on, I have Discord right here.
Is it
It's-
called Echo of Dragon Sight? Is that
It
what
is,
this
and
thing's-
that it gives you the
Okay.
spell
it's the-
Contact Other Plane as a
Yeah.
ritual.
And it's a
Gotcha.
5th level. I don't have any 5th level spells.
You can just cast this spell as a ritual, so it doesn't take a
Whoa.
spell slot.
Okay.
Numbers, you get 5 questions.
So it lasts for 1 minute.
Oh,
Um,
before I start, does anyone have any other questions they want to ask him?
I think this is probably
Or
more.
that yeah.
You want to
this is
ask
more
about this
pressing.
armor? It should be your questions.
That's true. Y'all can ask him yourself. Okay, continue.
You might
DM,
also
okay.
want to ask about the trident if you're going to be using
yeah.
it.
Yeah, true. So what do I feel deep inside, DM?
So to cast a ritual spell, it takes about 10 minutes. And as you do, you sit down. You're just closing your eyes, attempting to channel the spirit of Umbrir.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I need you to make an intelligence saving throw for me.
On it. Oh, rolling.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice! That's a first roll of the
Wonderful
day is a
news.
flaccid 20.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
Can we get some in the chat?
Ayo. Drop the bouncing 20s. I can't think of a good way to go about phrasing these things.
The flopping,
The
bouncing
flopping-
back and forth. You know.
Them flopping 20s are a shame to me. Anyway,
You made them. You brought them in this
I brought
world.
them into this world and they're my greatest horror. So, as you close your eyes and begin to focus, attempting to make contact with the spirit of the dragon you've slain, within an instant you feel your whole self shift. And when you open your eyes, you're sitting in a familiar place. Hey Ash! Oh, thank you so much for the sub!
Aw,
Thanks,
hey.
Ash.
Thank you, Ash. Hello,
Also, hi,
Quintum.
Tom.
You open your eyes and you see yourself in a familiar position, except this time you're sitting on top of this rocky isle. And as you do, you look up and you see a giant spectral shape of the black dragon you slew, sitting there, towering above you.
Wow.
He looks down to you with a bit of a squint and he goes, "Ugh. What do you want?"
I have a number of questions for you, Umbria. And I compel you to answer them. And that doesn't count as one. That wasn't a question. You ready for question number 1? Oh shit, that was question number 1, wasn't it?
Yes, I am ready for your questions.
Okay, 4 more. So what is this place and its connection to the sea goddess Umberly?
He sits up, adjusting his position before kind of sweeping his head around the area, lifting a claw, saying, "This was once a great temple to the sea goddess. It seemed fitting for me, and I took great interest in those who resided in. After gaining a bit of their trust, I eventually took it as mine."
Nasty.
Who resided within this temple, and did you know anyone who carried engravings of numbers on their pauldrons? And if so, who were they? That all counts as one question, right?
Those are 3 questions.
No.
Which would technically, I think, be your last 3 questions.
No.
If you want a second to rephrase that, you can, but otherwise
Okay.
it's just gonna go forward.
Okay, I would like to rephrase into.
I'll give you a mulligan on
you.
this one.
Thank you, appreciate that. Did you know anyone or who were the people within the temple who had numbers on their pauldrons?
And he leans his head down, bringing it closer to you. And as his massive face sits in front of you, he gestures with his nose more towards your own pauldron, and he says, "None of the sea dwellers inside carried these themselves. It was those from the outside that brought this in. Or should I say, I brought them in."
So, I'm sorry to repeat. He brought them into the temple. That's an out of character question.
He's...
Yeah.
You lagged for a sec there.
Am I back? Am I on the board? Nope, I'm not on the board. What's happening?
I can hear you now at least.
You can?
Is the stream still up?
Yeah.
Is
We
the
can
stream
hear
still
ya.
up?
The stream is
Yeah.
up.
Stream is